Let me get we're back. 여러분 안녕. We're back, 여러분. We're back. Why does it feel like I haven't did a cute little chat in so long? I was doing some planning, like video wise. I'm trying to like get more organized when it comes to filming, editing, planning, etc. because it feels like I was living paycheck to paycheck, but like content wise. I know, crazy statement, but here we are. In the midst of me planning, I realized I have so many cute little chat ideas, like a lot. Get in, losers. We're talking about being performative today. Aren't you guys excited? I thought about doing this topic because that's all that I hear. Before leaving social media, I would always hear people like talking about being performative. You're so performative. Your attitude is performative. Reading, ugh, so performative. You're dancing and happy at the beach and you filmed it. Performative. So I thought, what even is performative? Because we love actual definitions over here. Performative describes actions or speech intended to showcase virtue or intent for public approval rather than genuine conviction. But it now commonly describes superficial activism or theatrical behavior designed to impress others. I saw it mainly, or I heard about it mainly in regards to like the political space. I think when our last election happened and people were like screaming about certain topics and certain talking points, I heard the word performative being thrown around a lot. Wait, but don't we all perform? Yes and no. Depending on which definition you're using. For the most part, many people now associate the word with things like reading, drinking matcha, being productive, wired headphones, men with that one little mustache. You know the one, not that one, the other one. Men reading, using a tote while they drink matcha with that curly hairstyle. Again, you know the hairstyle. I think of it as if you're trying to be a cool character or a person, people will think you are being performative. We at some point or another change the way we speak or interact with others, depending on who we're around. Many of us, I hope, speak to our friends differently than how we speak to our mom, let's just say, or like, you know, someone, an elder, someone that you genuinely like respect. Not saying you don't respect your friends, but you know, there's a difference. You don't talk, generally speaking, most people don't talk to their mom like the same way they talk to their friends, especially if you talk to your friends in a more like, oh, what's up, B? Hey, slut. Hey, ho. Like things like that. When I use language like that sometimes, I use it with like my siblings. Like, ho, what? Or like, girl, don't be a hoe. Or I'll use like the H one. I know. I love that word though. Whore. I know. Like, oh my gosh, you little slore. I know. Yeah, I love that one. But I would never call my mom that, you know? Like, I call my mom like weird things. I call her like Sugarfoot. I know. But I would never talk to her the way that I talk to my siblings or like my friends. So in some ways, we are performing. We're changing the way we act when we are around or when we interact with certain people. I change how I talk when I'm speaking to certain people, but I also don't change. For an example, I speak to my grandmother the way that I would speak, like how I speak to like my immediate family. So like calling my mom like Sugarfoot or like, hey girl, or whatever, or like, girl, what? I talk to my grandmother that way as well. But still respectful. I think that's the thing when I'm speaking to like my elders, is that the respect level is still there. But when I'm talking to my grandmother, I'd be like, hey Bookie, and now she calls me like Bookie, and I'd be like, girl, what are you talking about? So it's like, even though I may switch how I speak to my elders, the elders in my life, there's still like an underlining of like myself peeking through there. Yeah, so it's like at some point we do change how we speak when we interact with different people, but that's not performative. That's just like, you know, you just change. Like, I don't know, it's like the way you speak at work and the way you speak at home, it's not the same. It shouldn't be the same, you know, depending on where you work. There's always nuance, my friends. Always nuance. Girl, Now, there is a massive difference between maybe code switching at times and being an entirely different person for the sake of validation from others. Because even when I may change the way I speak or actions depending on who I'm around, I'm still being me. My character is still the same. I may just speak softer or become more outgoing or shy, etc. But the core of all those many sides of me is still Anna. That's the difference, and sadly we're seeing the latter example more and more nowadays. Many people have perfected the art of being performative. They don't even know what the real them looks like or sounds like.
I put this outfit on and I really looked in the mirror and I was like, who even am I? Would I have ever bought these trousers if I didn't see them on Pinterest? No. Would I have flip-flops that have heels on them if I didn't see it on Pinterest? Would I thought, who am I? I've just realised, who am I? Because I keep copying stuff off Pinterest. Who am I? I have no idea. Because I just think if we didn't have phones, if we didn't have social media, if we didn't have Pinterest, what would I actually be dressing like? Because I know it wouldn't be this. I don't know who I am.
I feel like I haven't been performative or I guess chased the approval of others for a while. I know. I'm gonna do a cute little chat on like healing and like self-help and all that stuff like later. Just because I say I haven't done that in a while doesn't mean that I've never done it, because I have. Like, oh my gosh, you guys can't see the videos because they're gone, but like my like first couple videos, mind you, it was like 11 plus years ago, but like just the persona, like who was she? I don't know. It was like a mixture of all the people that I wanted to be or how I believed I should act in order to gain a following like the people that I loved had. Oh, you guys would literally I always had thoughts of like, oh, maybe I'll do like a video like watching like my old content. No. It was just a lot of like, hi guys, welcome back to this video. Today we're gonna be talking. It was just like a lot of that. And mind you, like that behavior, it wasn't harmful per se. It wasn't harming myself or anyone around me, but I think if you do that long enough, if you pretend to be someone long enough, it can bleed into a more dangerous, you know, it can bleed into dangerous territory, which like, don't fret, we're gonna talk about that too. Is everyone being performative, or are you just too focused on others or are you too judgmental? Exactly. Because I see some videos that I would not deem them as like performative, but people in like the comments, mainly on TikTok, they would beg to differ. They're like, oh my gosh, look at you reading in public, performative. You're reading your Bible. That's what I saw. It was Stray Kids, the guy Felix, I believe he's Catholic. Oh, cute. And he was getting his Bible out while they were at the airport, and I was like reading comments, and people were like, this
just seems really performative that he would like take his Bible out and like read. It's kind of like in public. It's like given you want people to like see you like in a different way.
And I was like, he can't read his Bible like in public? Like why? But how is that performative? Mind you, Felix is just like, so in Genesis, people were like, that's just so performative. Like why would he even like do that? And I'm like, do people even know the meaning of the words that they use? Because I don't think he was reading it to gain anyone's approval of his faith. I think he just wanted to read it, like, hello. So that's why I asked the question of, are people actually being performative, or are you just too hyper fixated and or judgmental of what others are doing just because it doesn't fit your own personal life or hobby or just path? That doesn't mean that what they're doing is weird or it's being performative. It's just not what you do, which is totally fine. Oh wait, hold on, I wonder if I can find that. I saw something on Instagram when I was doing research on this topic, mind you, and someone actually made an Instagram about it. Their title is, why is everyone performative now? Lately, the term performative has been floating around a lot, mostly on social media, but also in real conversations. It's less of a critique now and more of a meme. The word has taken on a new meaning, often attached to things like drinking matcha, listening to, is it Clario? Sorry. Or reading books. These actions get labeled as signs someone's playing a character. But this idea isn't new, and yes, there's actual psychological meaning behind it. I can't say that word. Oh my god, I hate my life. There's like a list of words that I can't say, and I don't know. My mouth, one of the words was basically. Thank you. I couldn't say it. I would say basically. No, hold on. Shut up. I couldn't say it, but now I could say it, sure. I hear it in my head, I just can't say it. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop recording. Once described daily life as a series of performances, long before Instagram or TikTok ever existed. We all do it. You change how you act based on your surroundings, whether you realize it or not. That is true, that's true. But I wouldn't, just like I said earlier, I don't know if I would classify those as being performative. But again, like this user and also Google said, the word has been changed now, which is kind of frustrating. I hate when meanings of words change, because most of the time when people are saying these words, they are not using the correct definition. So then when it gets popular, it adapts, it takes on this new definition, and it's like frustrating. Like the word bully. Oh my gosh, that word, it doesn't even mean the same thing anymore. That and feminism. Oh my gosh. Anyway, let me stay on topic. I think why people can think of reading or drinking matcha as performative is just because something gets insanely popular because of TikTok. Unfortunately, people want to try it. They want to gravitate towards it. And while trying these new things, they just so happen to realize, oh wait, I actually like this. And then they just add it to their life. So in that case, I wouldn't call that performative, like drinking matcha. Believe it or not, in some people's life, matcha has never been a choice. They have never thought to drink matcha, like at all. To some, like myself, and others, that's crazy. You're like, what are you talking about? What is life without matcha? What is life without reading this book or listening to this indie artist? Like, what is your life? But people haven't been exposed to it, and I think that's the beauty and also annoying side of social media, is because, especially TikTok, because we are all on this app, and we're all able to see and access many things that a lot of people just didn't have access to. It's making them, it's a cool thing. Like, it's so cool that people that probably would have never tried matcha because of X, Y, and Z have now tried it, and they're like, oh damn, this is actually really good. Or people, maybe they just weren't into reading, who knows, maybe they didn't know about the plethora of genres that you can read, and then because of TikTok, because of social media, they've been exposed to it, and they're like, what? I can read about this? And it seems insane, but that's the truth. And I think people would be less judgmental or stop being so quick to call everything performative if they took a step out of their own perspective and reality. Like, yes, me being a California native, I have access to so many different cultures, so many different things, so many different types of creative people. Someone in a different state or even in a different country, they may not have that same type of access. So it's like, how dare I judge or call someone performative for now being obsessed with matcha or reading a certain type of romance book or listening to a certain type of artist? Like, who does that make sense? Like, using the Felix example, What if Felix was new to his faith and he just is obsessed with reading the Bible right now? It's not about being performative. Not everything is about you guys. And I think that's also it, is a lot of consumers of content, or just people in general, they think that people are doing things for their approval. And it's like, in reality, a lot of people don't care about people that are watching them or the people that happen to see them in real life. Some people are just living their life, and like, just because you are like freaking analyzing them doesn't mean that they're being performative. It just means that you need to focus on your own life a little bit more. Oh my gosh, the perfect example of that is when that picture came out of Tom and Zendaya reading by the pool. And when I saw it, I was like I don't know. It was a cute picture because, like, you know, they're cute, but it didn't, like, I was like, I don't know what to do with this. But of course the conversation is like, performative, oh my gosh, they're reading by the pool. That picture seemed like it was a paparazzi, like a sneaky paparazzi picture. And I'm like, that's so funny that Tom and Zendaya are just like living life, just doing what they genuinely like doing, and outside people who have no purpose in their life are judging them because they feel like they're trying to perform for the public. Tom and Zendaya don't know you. Like, why would they perform for the public when they were like in their own world? Does that make sense? Hopefully I can, oh my gosh, hopefully I explained that like semi good, because that just broke my mind. It's like, the people that call everyone performative, I think you think people care about your opinion that much on like the topic. Again, they don't. Some people, because you can tell when people are being performative, but some people just aren't, and they are just trying to live life. And you shouldn't insert yourself into like their life by being like, you're performing. No, it implies a lack of authentic effort or substance behind the display. Yes, I won't touch on it for too long because I don't like to get political. Kind of, I don't know. It's more for my sake, so I don't like screaming at people. I feel like one thing that I see now, I guess performative activism, is the whole Starbucks Target thing. I understand, I know, I do see it. Oh, I know the video. Perfect. I didn't save it because like, no, but it was young girls and they were having like a cute like little study day at Starbucks. I think these girls were like in high school, maybe even like younger, and they were at Starbucks all day just studying, and it was a cute video. It gave me like old school vibes. I went to the comments because I thought it was like, you know, cute, like freaking Nora Jones vibe. People were like being mean, like, why are you at Starbucks? How dare you? Do you not know? It's always, do you not know? And I was like, first of all, these are children, like, let's you know, pull it back a second. But you know, if you do care about this topic, there is a way to like go about it instead of like yelling at people and just trying to appear as if you were just so, you know, morally pure. And that to me is most definitely performative. Yelling at people, especially when it's children, like, hello. You can always tell when people like use certain topics to like get like attention or like praise, but they don't actually care about it. That's why I used to, oh my gosh, when I remember when, just pick any moment, Black Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate, that not ICE, but I mean, yes, ICE, but also like other issues. Just pick an issue. People would like be berating content creators to post about it. Why aren't you saying anything about da-da-da, and you should speak up and you should use your voice? And but I would always question, making someone speak up about something does not mean that they genuinely care about it. So whenever they do speak up about it, to me, I will be like, how do you know if that person actually cares about it or not? And then their audience is like, yeah, see, they care, they're so down. And I'm like, but are they? You don't know. Especially after you like bullied them into posting about something. Why do you think posting equates to them genuinely caring about something and like wanting to like make a change in like in that lane. I never understood that. Some examples of performative behavior: social media activism, posting a black square or popular hashtag without engaging in actual tangible or private support for a cause. Yes, I just talked about that. I am one that always does private stuff. You have to be really careful about how you talk about topics in general on social media, especially political topics. I think a lot of people, they are very irresponsible with how they talk about politics and just activism in general online, because when you do it in the way that many do, it waters down the meaning, like the activism, like it waters it down so much. And my heart always ends up hurting for these causes that need to genuinely change or need genuine support, and it gets watered down to a TikTok talking point, and it makes me so sad. Using self-deprecation in a way that is clearly intended to fish for compliments. Yes, I see that on TikTok all the time, and then no one ever says anything, which they probably shouldn't. Probably for the best to not even, I don't know. Performative productivity,
where employees engage in productivity adjacent tasks to make it seem like they're doing something.
So I go to the office, I make sure to watch exactly 8 hours of productivity videos, and then I go home.
I'm trying to get better at scheduling, but instead of putting stuff on my calendar, I just got a bigger calendar.
I have these sneakers. Every morning I wake up at 5 a.m. and I take a photo of them with the caption, "Let's get this money." And then I go back to bed. This obsession with aesthetic productivity has been met with open arms by experts in performativity.
So first we had performative men, then we have performative masked lesbians, and now we have performative white-collar employees. Sales of useless shit are going to be through the roof. I'm talking desk treadmills, weekly planners, those business books that no one ever reads, like Ray Dalio's Principles or that fucking Rick Rubin one.
In an era defined by the pursuit of external validation at the expense of genuine self-improvement, miming productivity has become a new way for distraction-addled 20-somethings to act like they deserve their salaries.
I didn't have that like at my regular job. I feel like I have that sometimes like now. But like just, I'm performing for myself. Like I'm like, oh, I have to do this. I don't do any of it. However, today I have been on it. I did so much today. Carefully created social content. Posting not too perfect photos of daily life, food, books, scenery that are actually highly calculated for audience approval. I really wish you guys knew just how performative content creators are. Like, I know you guys like, I know. No, like the easy ones, most def, but there's a lot of content creators, big and small, who are so it's flames. But it doesn't bother me like that much anymore, because I had to, it's like one of the reasons why I stopped scrolling on social media, is because I was just tired of seeing that. It works now, whether people hate it or not, it works. Influencers have shown that if you follow this formula, you too could be where I'm at. So it's like, can you fault the people, those of you who do things like that? Can you fault them really? I always try to have a piece of my brain remain understanding. Whether if I agree with it or not, I try to be understanding. The key word is try. Because it's like the carefully curated like fake content, not me, not my vibe at all. I can't do it. But the half of my brain is like, but I could see why people do it. Right now, that is the formula, and people desire to be influencers so bad that yeah, they'll follow the formula. So it's like, you know, like surface level intellectualism, sharing intellectual content to appear smart rather than engaging in deep thought. The term has become a common critique of modern digital first life, often replacing terms like poser to describe anyone whose online life feels disconnected from their authentic online self. Talk about the dangers of performing for others, because it is dangerous, or it can be dangerous. So what's one thing that I always talk about? exactly. If you guys are losing your sense of self and individuality, then you are correct. Gold star. There you go. We are in a time where people use the internet as a guide on how to live life. Following the herd of what everyone else is doing solely for the look of fitting in or being cool will have you boxed in a reality you may not even enjoy. That is like my biggest concern with people being performative, or up and coming content creators, or just younger people in general, is this sad reality that could have you trapped living a life that you don't even enjoy. Because I, for one, I believe that you should enjoy life to the best of your ability, doing whatever it is that you want to do. And that does not mean that like everyone will be rich and like, you know, whatever, but just doing the small things, getting the best out of life. Because why? You only have one. Exactly. When I see people trying so desperately hard to fit in to these little performative boxes, I'm like, oh, you guys, please don't do that. And I can already hear you.
But like, what if that is just me? Like,
there is no way that everyone likes the same thing. That's not how being a human like works.
You're not unique. Yeah, that's kind of harsh and it sucks to say it like that, but it's true. No one's unique anymore. I even know what I'm doing is not unique. But what I'm trying to say is that like there's been such a loss of like individualism in like society. It's actually crazy. Tell me why I'm scrolling through TikTok. Everyone looks the same. Everyone's doing the same thing. Everyone has the same opinions. Everyone wears the same clothes. Like, you need to bring back gatekeeping and find your like own sense of self. Oh yeah, like the whole hardcore is a trend. Yeah, that's cool. It's a trend and stuff. But once one person says we're not doing this anymore, we're doing this, everyone just goes and does it. Like, it's funny. It's funny. I'm not saying it's not funny, but like everyone just goes and does it. And it's not just with quarter zips. It's with like everything. And then we just buy and buy and buy, and then we just wait for someone to tell us, oh, what's the next new hot thing? And no matter what we think, no matter what anyone thinks, we're all doing the same thing, and no one's unique anymore. People miss 2016 and like all that times, quote unquote, like before COVID and stuff, because everyone was unique. Everyone was unique at that time. They may have been similar, but they were still unique. Like, there wasn't this clean girl aesthetic. There wasn't this need to look the same. Why is everyone, like every famous person, getting plastic surgeries to look the exact same? Everyone just looks the exact same. And I'm not gonna lie, it is really sad to see like no one looking unique and stuff. It kind of is. It just makes the world so bland.
Yes, there are things that we can agree on and that, you know, we're really similar with, but even the most similar of people have differences about themselves. And I believe that a lot of people that claim to love all the things that the cool girls love, I just don't believe that is like 100% like real. I don't. Again, my heart always feels sad when I see people get to an age where they feel like, damn, I wasted my life doing this when I could have just been happy by doing X, Y, and Z. And I know it sounds dramatic and you're like, I'm only 14. Listen, that is young, but it's like, you want to use all of your years on this earth trying to do and be the person that feels most like you, that you feel the happiest being, and wearing uncomfortable clothes or acting a certain way because so and so acts that way, like that doesn't bring you joy, no? And to get to that point, you have to be honest with yourself. You don't have to make a video, you don't have to like ask the TikTok girlies. No, ask yourself, doing X, Y, and Z, do I feel the most like myself? Ask yourself that question regarding honestly anything. And if you are unsure of like who the genuine you actually is, use that question as a prompt and start saying yes and no to things, and then the real you will blossom will rise from the ashes, the performative ashes. Because again, I had to do that as well. I have tried on many hats. I have wanted to be many people, but once I was real with myself of like, I don't feel comfortable, like this is just not me, I am so happy with myself. I love myself. But it's like, yeah, you have to ask yourself those maybe uncomfortable for some questions. Oh, I remember when everyone and their mother was drinking espresso martinis. Oh, that was such a time. Everyone was drinking espresso martinis. And I saw this girl's video She was like, can we be honest? We're only doing this for the vibe. These are actually so gross. Girl, what? Why? There are a plethora of cute like looking drinks. Why would you get a gross drink that you hate? Like, you can have a vibe but still be yourself. Like, I think myself, which you guys might not agree, which is like totally fine. I think the life that I live, however I portray myself on social media, is a vibe. Like, I love the way that I do content. I know. In the same breath, I also don't care if my vibe does not translate to other people's eyes. Like, if no one gets my vibe, that doesn't mean that my vibe is not here. Does that make sense? And I wish more people was like that, girls. That is dangerous, and that happens way more than you think. The whole being cool will have you boxed in a reality you may not even enjoy. You guys, that happens so much to people. It happens so much, and it's so sad because like your life does not have to be like that. It really doesn't. But it just takes courage from you to break out of that desiring validation from like society or from others. I know it's scary, but you can do it. I have faith in you. Sure, you may get followers and the success or attention you want, but at what cost? Exactly. Life should be about being around people and doing the things that you love. Why? Because we only have one life. Let's also not even talk about the pressure you could be putting on yourself trying to uphold this image you have been putting out. And this can be applied, the performative talk or the trying to fit into like certain boxes talk. It can apply to like anything, to weight, relationships, fashion, personality. You could apply this to anything. Again, Christian. But the Lord has really showed me that why waste your life on things that don't bring you any joy? Like, why do that? Why waste your life constantly like worrying about, do I fit in with them? How do I look? Do they like me? Will they accept me? You can do and be whoever you want to be. So why not be yourself? Why not? There is no one cooler than you. I know, cringy. I know you guys all like shriveled up. You're so cringy. You're so chuggy. There's this level of freedom that you get when you break out of the shackles wanting the validation, because that's like what it is. People can say what they want to say. Following these trends like that hard, or changing your entire personality to be like X, Y, and Z, it is solely for validation. That's sad, because you don't need anyone's validation. You validate yourself, and if you're a Christian, you get validation from the Lord. Like, you don't, and it is human to want to be accepted or want to, you know, be liked by others. But I think people have taken it to an extreme. It's like my personality or my thoughts about myself doesn't change if people don't like me. You don't like me, you don't like me. Like, what do you want me to do? Change to make you like me? No. And I think if a lot of people stopped caring so much about the opinions of others, we wouldn't have so much performative behavior. Like, you should think you're cool either way, because you're you, because you're unique. And I think a lot of people nowadays, they don't see themselves as like special or different or like cool, and that's so sad, because you should. Yes, we're also similar as humans, but we're still all vastly different. And I think social media has kind of like heightened our similarities, which is great, but it has made people stop viewing themselves as like an individual. Does that make sense? Like, I share a lot of traits with a plethora of people. However, there still only is one me. And like, that's special. Like, you guys are special. Like, you are a special little cookie. So act that way. Y'all, get up. Just kidding. I have to be gentle with my delivery. But like, get up. You guys, realize that you're iconic, and don't let anyone tell you you're not iconic. Even if they don't believe it or see it, so what? Who cares? Don't change yourself that much to fit into a world who's like whack anyway. Okay, I'm sorry. So how can I not be performative though? I Told you I'll help you. Stopping performative behavior requires replacing the pressure to manage other people's perceptions with radical self-awareness and presence. Missing small moments of honesty and shifting your focus from external approval to genuine connection. That's literally what I said, but just like in a more like polished way. Thanks, Google. The only true way to not be performative is to have your personality and sense of self built on an honest and strong foundation. I know. I say it in every video. Again, for me personally, because I am a follower of Christ, my sense of self is built off of what he says about me, not anyone else's. So if people say,
oh my gosh, like you're ugly, or like you're worthless, you're da-da-da,
it's like, but like, who are you though? You're not Jesus, so why do I care what you have to say? And you have to do that but for yourself. Whatever you believe in, if you believe in nothing, then just believe in yourself and have confidence in yourself and know that you are iconic. You are great. This doesn't just start off of like one day of you being like, I'm great. It really takes you breaking yourself down and building yourself back up. Breaking yourself down, not degrading yourself, but you know, being honest with your strengths and also your weaknesses. I accept my weaknesses because it's just who I am, and I learn daily how to, you know, deal with that, how to work on that. And I do that regarding my entire being. I'm always searching myself for areas that I can improve, because I know no matter how iconic or wise or intelligent I am, I'm not perfect, and there will be a plethora of moments that I mess up and moments that I just get wrong. And I think you guys have to do that also. Talk about the good things about yourself. Talk about your pretty eyes or your pretty teeth or your beautiful hair, and then also be comfortable and aware that there are just, you know, areas that you too have to work on as well. That will really help you build a strong foundation. What did I say? You'll be built on a stronger foundation, because when you know yourself, people can't tell you anything. Like, no one can tell me about myself because I know myself. Like, you can't, you could try. It's like when you have a strong sense of self, it's also harder for you to perform because you know that this is just not you. I haven't did it in a while, like honestly, but if I ever try to perform or try to be someone that I'm not, it's like my body rejects it. It's like I go into like shock. So the difference between documenting and performing, because there is a difference. I would consider me a documenter. I document the things around me. I love documenting my life. Like, it's so freaking cute. While posting, well, whatever I post, my first thought isn't, I wonder how people will take it, or this book is so in, I should take a picture of me reading it. Do you think I'll get this many likes or brand deals if I post this? I'd personally describe that as being performative. Documenting life to me is about posting the life and hobbies around you without the looming pressure of fitting in. Showing your life as is, finding and showcasing the charm of the current life you live without lying or fluffing the truth. Because if you find yourself doing that, you have to ask yourself why. So a perfect example is like, the truth is I am a 30-year-old single Pringle who lives at home with her parents, and currently I am unemployed. Performing will look like posting my family home as like my home, posting and acting as if I have money, posting dating content like I have a boyfriend, or making up stories that didn't actually happen just for engagement. Documenting, which is what I do, is not hiding that I live with my family, even having them in my content at times, talking about my genuine feelings of being 30 and living at home, talking about unemployment but in a positive way, making content about where I currently am in the dating scene. Documenting is not putting on a show for others, it's allowing people to take a cute little peek in your world. And that, my friends, is how to not be performative. If you enjoyed this video, you guys, please give me a like. I'm just kidding. You guys, don't be performative at all, or I'm gonna get you. That's it. Annyeong, annyeong, annyeong. Sorry, I had to like rush the ending.